Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our 52-week series, the Subcontracting series. And this week, we're going to dive into the essential topic, setting up your first business development team. Okay, now, if you're just getting started and you're looking to level up, I'm going to guide you through the process. So let me get my notes. I always got to get my little notes out. And because I want to make sure we always having productive training, making sure that you're getting everything that you need to be successful in the government marketplace. And I just want to make sure that I keep it personable. I want to keep it really formal, but I want to also make sure that you're getting value. I take my time, put these slides together because I really want to make sure you have actionable steps. And because I was trying to get the content out, but now I just take my time, put it together so that way I make sure you understand what it is that we're discussing in these trainings. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen because I don't want to keep this training too long. Okay, the 52-week subcontracting success for 2025. We're training small businesses on how to establish, their first BD team, to identify those subcontracting opportunities, to build relationships and grow profitable. And the only way you can do that is a process in place, procedures and set in place, because it took me years just to get to where I am at. And of course, I'm Akeisha Foster, your GovCon coach with KeyToLife Professional Services, LLC. And let's get started. Okay, so introduction. Okay, so why a BD team is critical for subcontracting. It's critical in but it's even more critical in subcontracting because you're just getting started, right? You're building your foundations. You're learning what should I be doing? What are the tasks? So a strong business development team is foundation for winning subcontracting opportunities. And, right now we're going to give you the basic overview, get you started. And then later on, as you continue to watch the videos, I'm going to give you more advanced techniques and strategies, but you have to learn the basics first. So I really see that I had to start off from the beginning first. All right. Business development business content connects three key activities: market research, outreach, and teaming. Those are the three things that are foundational in the business development area. And, as a CEO, we're wearing multiple hats, right? We're wearing the marketing hat, the sales hat, we're wearing the proposal writer hat. But in this, we're talking about the business development and how to focus in those areas when you put your business development hat on. And what I found is a key resource. This resource I had to pull off my screen because I wanted to be able to share the book with you, that I've read it several times, reread it over and over again, because I wanted to make sure I understood the foundation, had a stable foundation, especially when I was first getting started, and then how to effectively teach it. And so this book is instrumental in my success. It's one of the many resources that has been very instrumental in my success. I have read this and taught it every year. I reread it every year to make sure I didn't miss anything, make sure I've added everything that I have not put in. And it's been really key. So I pulled it up because I wanted you to just see in the table of contents. I wanted you to see the things that she's covering. All right. We're going to start with the basic principles of business development. Then she talks about becoming a rainmaker, entry-level professionals. Many people have not ever done business development, so you need to know what's involved. She gives you a business development plan. I implemented that business development plan in my business, and then I teach my coaching clients the same thing to implement it in their business, because it is such value in there. Because just like in one of the parts she talks about, because firms, when you're first getting started, have your limited resources. She gave you the tools and resources to be productive. And then she talks about whenever we learn a new skill, we go through 4 stages, right? We go through 4 stages, and those stages are: number 1, unconscious incompetence. We do not know what we don't know. And I say that all the time. You don't know what you don't know. And so how can you correct things when you don't know? So then she talks about number 2, conscious incompetence. Okay, we've become aware of our need to learn. We've become aware that we need to go get these resources to make us successful in government contracting. Then number 3, conscious competence. Okay, we now know how, but it's not second nature yet. We still got to keep practicing, get it into us a system and putting it together. And then finally, unconscious competence. That's when we perform the right things without even thinking about it. We know exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and then we get those repeatable results from it. And she focuses on, because this is for small professional service firms, she talks more about, because I'm a small service firm, so I wanted something that specializes in what I'm trying to build. A service-based business, and I provide services. It's plenty of product service built books out there, all those different kind of books, but it wasn't focusing where I needed to focus. And then she talks about the outcome focused selling, because we're not selling a product that is tangible. We can touch it. We're selling services that's not tangible. You can't just touch it. You have to know exactly what you're putting together. You need to know exactly what is all involved in the outcome. So she talks about, with the outcome focused selling, it's more like, because we're selling, that service. So the activity she talks about, it's more outcome focused business development. Trends. So it's forward thinking. Is people buy from you because they have a problem to be solved, or they may have an aspiration require professional guidance. So then she puts together for that outcome focused business development specifically for service-based companies like me. So I knew I had to buy it. And it was worth every bit. It's a small investment, but it's worth every bit, because I was able to implement this and I've seen the return on my investment. I've seen my business development activities do better. And then I'm able to train my small businesses, because it's so much, it's encompassed so much. So then I can send you to the book, and then you can go through and take your time and read it over again until you get the concepts. Mark it up. I mark everything up, because I want to be able to get back to the information quickly. So then she talks about the brainstorming guide, networking, how to use the phone. Many of you don't even know how to use the phone, how you contact the prime contractor for the first meeting. She gives you the introductory client meeting, building loyalty, body language, building the proposal. She put a capture plan in there. Then she put a template in there for your proposal development capture plan. So she has given you some good resources at a very fraction of the cost that you're going to pay for a consulting or a coach. So why not use these resources that's going to help you grow your business? And so I wanted to make sure I talked to you about that. And then she gave you the business development process. And then what I liked about it is she talked about these phases right here. She talked about a target is identified, because they're repeatable processes. So your target is identified. You develop plan to meet them, because now you got to meet them. Then you do your introductory meeting. Then you have to move the client through the relationship building process, track the opportunity, and win the work, because you have to track it. And then expand as existing clients. So she gave you the steps, And all you have to do, she went through each one, teaching you how to do it all. Then she went through even more. Then she gave you the basic principles. And then she just teaching you how to become the go-to person for business development. And I always wanted to be the go-to person to assist my clients with so when I'm doing my consulting as a business development person, I have the keys, I've walked through it. I know how to meet new people, build relationships, present to be heard, and then write with intentions. Most of us do not, because it's a learned behavior. So I definitely recommend the book, and I recommend you take your time, go through each section, and then you'll be able to really bring in your focused business development, because she provides you. I'm not going to recreate stuff that people are already doing. I'm going to advertise stuff and recommend things that has helped me, and then focus on the things that they're not building, the content that they're not covering. And that way you can use what's out here. Now, she even talked about the shotgun approach. You just blasting it to everybody, and then you're not getting anything. You ain't hitting anything. And so that's why I love her book. I love her book. Like I said, I read it over and over again. And then I had implemented in the Subcontracting Academy, because she has some good concepts in here, and it's a very good guide to use. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about before I move on is the sections. She gives you the sections to include in your plan. She tells you section 1 is the purpose, the goals, and objectives. So many times we don't even know what the purpose for, what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, and so forth and so on. Then she tells us you have to analyze your business. You have to. And then she just breaks each area down about the targeting. Then she talks about each section. So you should, and then define your company's perfect client. Who are you identifying? Why are you identifying? Why are you going after them? And then just moving you through the process. And that's all on that. But I just wanted to show you that it's a great resource. She put out there the plans in there for you. She's taken her time and given so much value, and it was worth every penny. So be sure to get your resources out there. I'll be sure to put a link below, because I am in the Amazon Associates program, because I believe if I'm going to advertise the resources that I'm getting, there's nothing wrong with me making sure I keep, if I can get a little penny from it or two from it, I'm definitely going to put it out there. But it's a great resource, even if I wasn't in the Amazon Associates program. And I want you to get that resource, because she is providing value. All right, now let me get back to the slides. All right, we talked about that. So now let's move to the next. The key challenges most small business face. Challenge number 1 is a lack of clear goals. The solution: you got to define those SMART goals. They need to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant. Okay, relevant, not all this fairy tales. I'm gonna get 3, 5, 7 contracts in 2 months and all. No, let's make it real. And then time bound. So let's focus on the quarters. I believe in let's just focus on first quarter. And then, so for instance, 5 subcontracting opportunities identified monthly, but I even recommend 1 a month, so that way you can at least have for that quarter 3 opportunities that you're actively pursuing. So you just want to keep it depending on your business size. If you're a 1-person team or 2-person or more team, that is going to dictate how many opportunities you can go after. Then we're going to talk about challenge number 2. Limited resources and time. When you're doing your 9 to 5, you're doing this part-time, and you have a part-time job, you have limited resources and time. So you got to start small. I recommend outsourcing some of that research, outsourcing your proposal at the beginning, get some winning work, because you're spending all that time trying to put a proposal together that you don't know how to do, or you putting it in wrong, you're missing key information. You just spent those 20, 30, 40 hours on an opportunity that wasn't even crafted correctly for that bid or opportunity. So you can use freelancers or consultants while you're building your internal capacity, while you vetting and looking for hiring contractors to support your team. Or you can do 1099 and subcontractors on your team if you're not ready to do W-2 employees. And challenge number 3 is building those relationships. We do not take the time to build with the relationships. It's just like in personal relationships. If you're not giving that significant other time, you're not calling, you're not trying to actively pursue that person, they don't want to be involved with you. They don't know you. You haven't even invested any time. You're so busy out here doing all these busy work activities that you're not actively going after anything or actively letting them know, hey, we're here, we're ready to do business, and this is what we do. This is the area of what we do. So I always recommend develop one target. My solution is develop one target prime contractor or a teaming partner. Reach out with a tailored capability statement. And in our book, we have in this other book, this great resource, the Government Sales Manual. I have that one too. And then I didn't put that one in here, but I should have, because this is a great resource, especially when you're tailoring your capability statement. And we talk about introducing your capability statement. We call it an ICF in our some Federal's group coaching program, my strategic partner. And we get it just tells you and it walks you through exactly what to do. And I always tell them to go to the chapter on teaming. And that's let me make sure I want to give you the right chapter in that book, because if you already have the book, a lot of my clients already have the book. Chapter 12, teaming and partner. Teaming and partner. Read that chapter. Read that chapter, bookmark it, know everything about it, keep reading it over and over and over again until you've learned these concepts. Too many times we read the book once and never even touch it again. And you don't understand why you don't understand it. It's just like any test out there. You got to read the book, and then you're going to have a test. Now you're going to have the practicum to see how much can you apply of what you learn. And many times we don't learn much of it because we don't remember anything, or we haven't put it into practice as soon as we read it. And so keep documenting that. And in there, we're talking about first versus second tier subcontracting. That's an important concept. We're talking about all this information, then developing that teaming partners database, which will be in our next training. So we have to get that teaming. We have to get that stable. We have to get that database up and running. So these are some of the things that we're going to keep talking about in this subcontracting series, is to prepare you to be a subcontractor, a qualified, relevant, know what to do. And then the prime contractor will have the confidence to know that you're a part of the team and you're ready. Now, the core components of a business development team, okay, of one person business development, I call them the doer seller. That's what she calls them in the book. Sharon, Miss Sparlock, she calls them the doer seller model. Okay, you doing everything. You're a one person show, so that means you got to do the market research, you got to do the outreach, you got to do the proposal development, you got to do the CRM management. You see, that is important to understand, because if you're doing everything yourself, then how in the world are you going to be able to scale? You can't do everything. It's only 24 hours in a day. And how we extend our reach is by having partners, because one could put 1,000 a flight, but two can put 10,000. So one person can get a lot done, but two, you can get extra stuff done. Because I know when I was doing everything by myself, the first thing I did was get me a virtual assistant, because I had to get those admin tasks off of me. It was consuming my time. And then I'm telling you, When they started, it was like, I could breathe. I could offload some of that work. And then I could focus on the income producing activities. I was doing every non-billable hour. I'm setting up the marketing. I'm doing the social media. I'm uploading my videos on YouTube. It consumed me. And then by that time, I was working part-time in the Army Reserve and part-time for the Apex Success. So I didn't have no time, part-time. And so then, but I'm working 40, 50 hours on my business, and I'm working those 20 hours and then those other 16, 18, 20 hours with the reserve. I was done. I had to have me someone. And then as I continue to grow, I was able to add more people on the team. And as your finances grow, and that's why I always tell you, put that line item in there. You got to put that line item in there for payroll. And then if they're an employee, you best believe you're paying unemployment. You're paying those taxes. You're paying those. There's a lot of stuff you're paying. And if you offer benefits and stuff of that nature. So then what I always recommend, you dedicate specific blocks of time for BD activities to avoid neglecting these essential areas. Put it on your calendar. If I'm going to be doing social media, I'm putting 2 to 3 hours for social media, because it takes 2, 3, 4 hours just to come up, because you got to put your slides together. You got to research the content. You got to make sure you got all the resources available for your audience, because you want them to get value and not just be wasting their time. Everything you do is with value. So then I had to go through and use some automation tools. I had to start figuring out how to automate stuff, and then email templates, your canned responses, your scheduling apps. So then I'll send, when people reach out to me, send them my scheduling app. Then I even had to start pre-qualifying, because you had people contacting you to sell you something. Well, then let me know if you're trying to sell me something. Don't get me on the call and then it wasn't actually you asking for my service. You're trying to sell me something. So then I had to start pre-vetting, because we have limited time. Notice the millionaires, you can't even get a hold to them. They have gatekeepers. Okay. And that's the reason why they have those gatekeepers, so that we can focus on the outcomes in the building, the strategic planning, all those things that come with building a business. Okay, and then prioritize the high value opportunities that align with your service offering, or your niche, or however you call it, because I'm an acquisition professional. So everything I'm trying to do is acquisition. I'm only doing training. I'm trying to train my CORs, my interns, government agencies. You got to know who your audience is, and then what are their areas of expertise, and then those certifications, because they require, when you're in the agency, they require those certifications, and keeping them up to date, doing those CLPs, continuous learning points. So all that has to be blocked on your calendar so it gets done. So market research, you should be blocking out 2 to 3 hours for that. Your outreach, 2 to 3 hours for that. So when you see all that add up, you'll see it takes time. It takes time. Proposal development. If you're not submitting proposals, you're not winning. You have to propose, even if it's to a civilian or commercial, you still have to submit a proposal for that, or invoice, or in something, right? A quote. And then managing your CRM. How many leads do you have in there? Do you have 2, 3, 1? Is it dried up? I mean, you gotta track those things. Okay. And then the practical weekly workflow for a 1-person BD team. I tell you, Monday, put on that calendar, market research. And if you're going to do before you go to your 9 to 5, or after you come from your 9 to 5, preferably before. So that way you get up early. Say you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get up at 4. Then you do all of your activities. So that way you have the prime energy. Now, if you're a night owl, you got to do your night owl. I'm an early bird. So all my stuff is early. And then I put on their market research, and then which opportunity, because remember, we say 3 to 5 because it's one a day. So then you schedule that one opportunity. Okay, I'm going to look up Booz Allen Hamilton, or I'm going to look up SAIC. But if they're too big, I recommend we stay in our small to small until you're ready to go to the medium size and then the large size. So stay small to small, so that way because it's just like you going after a millionaire and you barely a thousandaire. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. Now, every now and then, They look up and get them a millionaire, but 9 times out of 10, you do not. So let's just keep it real. Okay. We're going to keep it focused, and we know you're going to be in sam.gov. Make sure them save searches is coming to your inbox and it's labeled opportunities. Put that filter on so it's already in there, so you know how many opportunities you're reviewing for that morning. Or if you, that's because this is the 1-person team. Okay. But as you grow, you're going to see. Tuesday, we doing outreach. So now all that research we've done, Tuesday, we going to send them emails out. We're going to schedule them to go out at 7 or 8 or 9. You schedule the emails to go out because you have to get to the 9 to 5. So you got to schedule them. And then you have them scheduled to go out. So when you come back from your 9 to 5, you check those emails and you see who's responded or not. If you got to do some follow-ups and so forth and so on, customize those introductions. And I've already told you where to customize those introductions is that introduction capability statement is customized. You want everything customized. No, because I get generic stuff all the time. I have to throw that in the trash. I'm not looking at that. You trying to get everybody, you just throw it in the trash. You call it junk mail. So be careful with that. So then we schedule 1 a day. If you just do 1 a day, that's 5 a week. You see, if you can't get 5 a week, then do 3 and do it. Use that 1.5 a day, 30 minutes. You only have 30 minutes, whatever you have. And that way you get 3 a week. You see, but at least 1 a week, but we have to start somewhere. Okay. So then Wednesday, we doing CRM maintenance. We updating that Google Sheet. I love Google Sheet because it's collaborative. I can share it with my assistant. They're updating everything. I'm just reviewing it, making sure everything is correct. And all the new leads that came in, are we making any progress, so forth. And then notes for follow-up and setting those conditional formatting in so that way it flags it. Everything we're doing is automating, making our lives easier. So when we know it's red, that means we didn't waited too long. It's due. We need to call them. If it's orange, that means we're in the 7-day window. If it's green, you set up those things that's going to make it better for you. And then make sure you do your proposal development on Thursdays because proposals take time. Are you only going after one source of sought notice and RFIs? And then are you going after solicitations? Okay. And those are, you need to start with a request for quotes. If it's a request for proposal, I don't know, because are you ready? If you're established and you're ready and you got all your team and all that, then maybe so. But we want to stay with the simplified acquisitions and the micro purchases. Now, and then prepare time to refine those and everything else. Okay. And then weekly planning, review and planning. You have to review everything. Okay. What did we get done this week? You got to evaluate those week's goals, your wins, your challenge areas that you need to improve in, or maybe you need to hire somebody just to focus on that area because you don't have the time. So when you get back, all you should be doing is reviewing things. But this is set the goals and then do the outreach. So that is for the 1-person team. Now let's talk about, okay, for the 2-person BD team, the doer seller model, but all right, the roles and responsibilities. So the lead, all right, the lead seller doer is the owner or the senior team member. Okay, now you're going to set the strategy priorities for the BD activities. Okay, you're going to lead the client meetings. You're going to do the outreach and relationship. You're the face of your company. Now, if you want to put somebody else on the face, that's fine, but you need to be seen as well. You need to be attending those meetings as well. At least do the introductory meeting. And then when the BD lead takes over, then you've already built the relationship because you got to be the eyes of your organization, your company, your brand. They see you, they know you, all that. And then either writes or oversees proposals and ensure submission deadlines are met. You gonna write it or you gonna hire somebody else to write it. Have a proposal person on a freelancer, so that way it's a little bit more economical. Or you can have a proposal assistant, get an intern or someone new, and then have them to write it, and then you just do the review, the red team review, and all those other different reviews, and make sure it gets submitted. So you have to go within your budget. So whatever in your budget, that's what you need to do, but you have to plan for it. Then number 2, support role. Your VA, research assistant, BD staff, whoever you hire, who's going to conduct the research, compile the subcontracting opportunities from platforms like sam.gov, or the state or local. So me, I'm in Maryland, so I'm always on eMaryland Marketplace, Emma. And then if you want to go after Prince George County, they have different requirements. Or say you want to go after the universities, they have a different platform. If you want to go after hospitals, they have a so make that spreadsheet and have all those different platforms. So and then have their login and password. So they have their login and password, and make sure they're trained. Okay. Then they're going to manage the CRM with updating the leads, contacts, and progress. And then of course you'll have yours that you keep with your notes and your personal stuff that you have for that meeting. And you can keep that on the account sheet or whatever sheet you want to do, and then have them to prepare the initial drafts of the emails, the capability, the templates for review. If they're doing all that, then when you get it, all you're doing is doing a QA/QC and submitting it and sending it out if you want to be the one to send out the emails. But it depends on however you want to do that. Okay, and then my practical weekly workflow for a 2-person team is right there. Mondays is market research, outreach is Tuesday, and everybody has their roles. Okay, the lead knows I'm going to be the reviewing the reports, but the support knows I'm going to want to be identifying those opportunities. And don't just put them in those positions and do not train them. You have to train them. And many times, you'll fire one of your assistants, but you ain't trained them. You ain't show them what to do. You ask for an entry level person. You're paying them entry level prices. So expect that you're going to have to tell them what to do. And then don't micromanage them. Tell them what to do, record them a video, give them a checklist, and let them go. And that way they can own it, take ownership. Okay, now also I always believe in Saturdays and Sundays. That's optional. Some people do, some people don't. Some people take off on the weekends, but I do. Sometimes I work on the weekends. Now, if I have a family function or I have travel or vacation planned, that's what that time is for. But if I don't have anything, I'm doing strategic planning. I'll have clients reaching out to me on Saturday and Sundays, but I tell them, hey, that's my business day. You have to work on your business, not always in it. That's my day. I'm trying to do strategic planning. You'll have people that'll try to consume all of your time for their business needs, but not understanding you have a business to run as well. And you have to talk to your team. You have to schedule time with your team. You have to do those things for your business, or it will not last, or it will go out of business. So that Saturday is for strategic planning. Okay, what we're going to do for the next week. Okay, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What should we keep doing? What should we stop doing? Because it's consuming all of our capital. It's consuming of our times, all those things. That's the time you use that time to do. And then the weekly planning. What do we plan on doing next week? Okay, what do I have my assistant? Don't be the bottleneck. I was a bottleneck sometimes because I was working on a contract, so I will hold up everything because I was so busy working on the contract that I didn't have the time. And then sometimes I will be working on the weekends for that contract, which I wasn't supposed to be, because you only allowed it for 40 hours, and they're not going to pay you overtime or anything. So you have to learn, stop doing overtime, stop doing that as a contractor. Now, when we was employees, because we got that employee mindset, so we're still thinking, okay, well, I didn't get it done, so but are they actually understanding how long it takes to do a particular activity, because we've been doing it so long, and because we're used to that employee mindset? Okay, well, I didn't get it done. No, you have to keep your hours. You have to do it within the time allotted, and then use the rest of that time to build your business, because you still got to manage. Your role is to manage your company, so that way you can grow the company. All right. And then, so my advice for aspiring subcontractors: purchase the book, Business Development, a practical guide. It's a small investment, and it includes templates, tools like the capture plan. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's got a wealth of information, and I'm telling you, it's going to help you. And so making sure that you understand before I move on, because I wanted to make sure you understood that when you have a team, you have to establish those clear communication workflows between the team, using those resources so that way it's easy to update and easy to manage. Don't make it cumbersome. I've seen it be so cumbersome. You so busy trying to get the weekly report in, you exhausted from that, and then you can't even get the client work done because you exhausted trying to do the weekly report. So make it easy, and don't, just making sure all that is good, and use collaborative tools. That's going to help you. And then, so like I was saying, purchase the book. It was a good $6, $7. I mean, I don't know. I forgot how much I paid for this book, but it's worth it, because you're going to learn a lot from it. All right. And then also, because I forgot all about my other book, but I should have added that one too, the Government Sales Manual, because when you're dealing with that team and getting started, you need to know exactly how to put that introduction capability statement in there. And it is a great example in there. All right. Then start small. Begin with one dedicated role. Okay. See if you can free up enough money to just bring somebody on salary. Say you only can pay your virtual assistant a couple of $100 a week or $200 a week. I mean, you and then give them incentives and different other things. When they're only working 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, until you can bring them up to part-time 20 hours a week. Or you can bring them on project base. So just have them do a project base. Hey, I only need you to do this research report for this one agency, and then I got a lot of work to do with that before I need you to do another. So it's however you can afford to do it, but just get started and do it. So you'll see it's going to free up so much time. Invest in the tools. Use the CRMs like Google Sheets. I love Google Sheets because I can do pivot tables. I can do slicers. It's collaborative sharing. It's real time. All right. And it just helps you. Let me give you some more. And then it break down those tasks in manageable chunks. Spend at least 15, 30 minutes daily on market research, updating those CRMs, and reaching out to potential prime contractors. And then one thing I want you to recognize too about that book, Ms. Spurlock says, wearing multiple hats, BD activities cannot be neglected. These business development activities when you neglect them, that pipeline dries up. So it's important that you keep that on the forefront. And then, like I said, start simple. The reason why you're starting simple with our CRM, because we already have the Google Sheets that come with our platforms. It's free and you can get started now. And then most of you don't have the money to pay for the HubSpot. Now, HubSpot has the free platform too. So you can start off with that, with a free platform, and then you will be able to scale and grow with it. And then you're learning the system too. And then you can add those different automations and so forth and so on. But I want you to understand and then build your expertise. All right. Attend trainings for twos. I done left all of them one. Okay. Build expertise. Attend training for twos like SAM.gov and StatForce. So always attend those training events, because if SAM.gov is having an event, attend the training. It's going to help you out. And then quote. Okay, so I love her quote too. How business development managed in a company can make the difference between a dynamic, growing company and one that is constantly struggling to meet payroll. I love that quote. Now, and it's so true. You can tell the difference when you're struggling in your business and when you're not, because you can't afford to pay nobody anything. Okay. And then the last thing, I want you to take action and stay tuned. Okay. Now, what I want to bring this last little point up, you got to leverage your assistant to research those tasks, like compiling that stuff, because then it frees your time up. You have to. And then they'll help identify those potential teaming partners. That way you can start having conversations with them. Then provide clear instructions and templates for consistency. Okay, so that way the assistant knows what needs to get done. And then the reason why I always recommend the Google Sheets, it's collaborative. Multiple team people can access it, and then you get the updates in real time. You can lock stuff that you don't protect the sales and things that you don't want people to touch with, or you don't want to share, or you can hide those tabs. Then it's easy to collaborate. You don't have to have no coding experience. You don't have to go through, I don't know what, to learn how to use the platform. You spending more time trying to learn how to use the platform than you are tracking your CRM and your contacts. And then it's cost effective. Like I said, it's free and it comes with your account. And I recommend that to new businesses always. And then, so I want you to stay tuned because I got some training coming up on how to build your CRM and Google Sheets. And, I plan to walk you through those basics. I'm going to include columns for like potential clients, your key contacts, opportunity deadlines, note. I'm going to teach you how to use those filters, conditional formatting to prioritize leads and deadlines. So that's why I do this, so that way I can one-to-many. I can help many small businesses. So when you come into those sessions, because that's what I always liked about it when I was working with the Apex Accelerator, when I would create the templates, I would create everything I needed to create and give it to the client and tell them, hey, when you come in this meeting, be prepared. Then it showed me the client's level. Are they really trying to do this thing? Are they really ready to get into government contracting? Or maybe they just kicking it around. Maybe they not sure if they want to, but it gave me a chance to assess. And then those who are really about building and growing, they got it done. They did it. They implemented quickly and immediately. And then they seen the results of it. I was able to help my small businesses win over 8 million in contract when I was first getting started. And now I'm tracking and measuring more so I can be able to articulate how many people I've helped, what industries I've helped, and then just continue to grow. So that's why I say, now, if you want more advanced, then I recommend you go to the HubSpot because you definitely automation and it's scalable. So share your challenges in the comments below. Tell me your story, because that gives me the content I need to continue to answer, create the Q&A videos to answer these questions that our small businesses are having, that are general, that it applies to everyone. Now, if you want specialized care, you got to pay that specialized price. Okay, now, connect with me. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And when you're ready to take the next step, join our coaching program. Either book a clarity call so you can talk with me more so I can find out where you are. And then I can make a recommendation. No, it's not time for you yet. I would recommend you go to the Apex Accelerator or SBDC or the Veteran in Procurement and all those different resources that we have out there. And then explore my Upwork consultations or projects if you're not ready to commit long term. You just want to get a plan to get started. And then take that plan and run as far as you can go and then come back and then get another plan. So like I said, stay tuned for next week. The next week's topic is on creating your team and database, a critical part of your business. So don't miss it. Subscribe to get more updates and just see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye.
Let's talk about the importance of having a coach. A coach challenges you, keeps you accountable, and helps you unlock your full potential. And as a GovCon coach, this is exactly what we do for our small business. We provide guidance, strategies, and support needed to navigate the complex world of government contract. And together is how you reach new heights. And the best athletes out there know this: the Simone Biles, the Shakira Richardsons, the Serena Williams. So if you feel like you are ready to take it to the next height, join the group coaching program. Take care now.